Evening, everybody. How is everyone today? I can see that we've started off with my camera not working, which is a good start. The main one is, but the little one isn't, so there we go. How's that for a start? See if I can fix that. Hi Dagda, hi Robert. So all I'm going to be working on today is my detritus model again. We got most of the way with him last time. You can see I've got a new layout for the camera, so I'm hoping that this one looks a little bit better. Cheers, Stephen. So yeah, so we're going to be working on this guy today. Hopefully, like I say, cameras are going to work in a minute. It was working, and then we started shooting, and it immediately froze, which is good. I'll turn it off for a moment. So, is anybody else working on some hobby tonight, or is it just me? So I'm going to be working on this guy's teeth first of all. So famously, trolls in Terry Pratchett have got diamond teeth. So I'm going to try and replicate that look. So I've got some grey blue from MIG. And we're just going to put a quick base coat down with this. Might be too much of a jump, we'll find out in a minute. Primaris Sanguinary Ancient Kit Bash for you. Oh yes, I saw it in the Discord, it looked really good. I think. So these MIG paints are nice through the airbrush, but they're really weird on the hairy brush because they're super thin. Take the piss out of the size brush. Holds a lot of paint. Quite important for me. This is my all-time favourite brush. It's unbelievable because I used an ancient heavy metal one for years. Took really good care of it and it lasted all this time. Finally given up the ghost and I've had to replace it. This is my favourite at the moment. Pretty nice point on it, even though it's ginormous. Oh, hello, lots of people joined in. Jason, welcome. In before the kill kids mess it up. Yep, definitely. Hey, Reziel. Robert White's getting ready to paint Hellbrecht. That's a cool model. Reziel just got back from the stores and picked up some new paints. Got some more golden high flow fluorescents, and I picked up that new Black Legion. I've used the normal high flow, and they were okay. If I'm honest, I prefer the So-Flat ones to the high flow ones. I find the high flow have got a similar problem to these MIG paints that are a bit wet. What else have we got? What's it? Michael Noak's base coating is Incessant Sanguinary Priest. I think we're still using Sanguinary Priests. I still think they're a bit... Too many points. Then we're going to go into some white, but I don't want to varnish this model, so I'm using satin for this. I want it to be slightly shiny. Hairy brush. Yeah, Mark. That's a hairy brush. And then that's a not hairy brush. No hairs. Any experience with the new Agrax Null Oil yet? Yeah, I've used it. It's fine. I actually think it's better than the old one. It is slightly different, but only in that it's better. It doesn't sit on the flat surfaces quite so much. If people are worried, they shouldn't be. It's really not enough of a difference to worry about. It just means that occasionally on some slipperier stuff, more glossy paints, you might need a second coat. That's the only difference, and for everything else they work better. Anyone else hate building the two-hand axe sanguinary guard? Yeah, I do. It's an awful model. If the camera wants to turn back on. I think we might be in luck. Yes, there we are. Right. I'm just going to paint a bit of white on these now, just to do a little bit of a highlight. I'm still using these MIG paints. They're super runny, but they're quite satin, which is what I want from this. Also, because they're a little bit runny, they're also slightly translucent. Coverage isn't great, but that's kind of a benefit here because it means I won't need to do too much blending. Make these teeth look good. I don't want to spend hours on this. This is supposed to be a speed paint, and he's already taken a lot longer than I'd originally planned for him. I'm only using high flow fluorescents. They're excellent technical option and really glow. Yeah, I have to try them out. I noticed with the new ones, if you babysit it for an extra minute and absorb the extra wash that's pooling a bit, the finish is unreal. Same technique with proper contrast users. Yeah, I think they're really good. To me, it seems the new GW washes don't stain surfaces like they used to. I like that effect. If you like that effect, you may be disappointed. If not, you wouldn't be bothered. Oh, Tony, the camera's broken. It's showing your face. Aren't you funny? Yeah, you can get the same effect. You just have to do an extra coat. And it's not the biggest deal, I don't think. People are getting really upset over it. It's a slight change to their workflow. And it only seems to do it on some colours as well. Like the more glossy paints, it would do it a lot more. But things like if you just bosh in loads of it over red, for people who do that, it doesn't have much difference. So, to make these really sparkle, I'm using this. Wants to focus. So this is Turbo Dork Sparkle Motion. Now, I wasn't sure what this was. I thought it was a silver paint, but it's not. It's actually almost like clear paint, but it's got sparkle in it. And what I'm going to do with it is just put a little bit on these teeth, just to give them a little bit of a shine. Make them appear slightly sparkly. It's not going to come through on the camera at all, but I'm going to enjoy the look. I don't want to do more coats. Got to do tons of coats already. Just going to drop GW washes since they're not the same, and stick to oils. Yeah, well, oils are very different. In fact, the new, ironically, the thing that people are upset about with the new washes is that they act a lot more like oils. In that they're a lot more controllable. And they can be moved and manipulated a lot more than the older ones could. I don't know if this sparkle is going to come through on the camera at all, but it looks pretty sparkly in person. Good. On the next bit. What else we got? Hello. I ever so slightly added a bit of Black Templar contrast, like minimal, and I swear it looked just like the old school Nuln. Yeah, I'm sure it does. Contrast have got a use. I really like contrast. I did quite a bit of this guy with them. Oh, that's not expecting. Nozzle's fallen out. Oh, hello, John. GW, not willing to pay GW prices though when I already have good stuff for a better price. Sure, don't then. I know a lot of people like GW stuff. It's good quality. Is a little bit overpriced, I suppose, in some ways. I've got loads of paints here for doing on this model. A couple of them are GW. The majority, if I'm honest, aren't. But that's not because of any other reason than for the model that I'm painting here. There's some other ranges that I think work better for it. I've got my long thin brush here because I've got to paint his eyes. So this is just a bit of a dark red paint in. I was checking out the art for this and it's a little bit inconsistent, to be honest. Some of it's showing them with red eyes like the golems do, and some of it's showing them with standard kind of human eyes. And I've gone with red ones for this just because it's a bit of a contrast, but I'm not sure if I'm sold on that just yet. Have you tested out Bile Red? I have. I've got it actually just here. I was playing with it when it first came out. It's really saturated. You don't get that kind of contrast effect that you get with other things. In fact, I'll tell you what. Got something random here. Let's give him a little play and I'll show you what I mean. Actually, I don't want to use that model. So this is my painting aggressor. As you can see, it's been repainted a few times. So this is Bile Red. Over a more or less white. See how saturated that is? Very saturated. Don't get quite as much of the contrast effect as you do with other paint. But I like it because it's single pigment, which means you can use it for other techniques a bit better. Mixes a lot nicer. So, yeah, if you can see that. It's really, really red. I'm just slopping it on. You don't get that kind of automatic shading thing that they were all banging on about when it first came out. But what you do get is a beautifully red that goes on really easily. It's a much brighter red than the Blood Angels and Flesh Terrors that's already out. So it depends on what you want from it. See, I use these if I just want to get quick base coats down. So I quite like them less contrasty, if that makes sense. But if you're using them to try and do a one coat, then probably not quite for you, that one. Hello, Jim. Stephen, I personally haven't tried Bile Red yet. Curious to see what others create before I give it a go. It's nice. I like it. Good. I was painting things, wasn't I? Right, okay, so I'm going to use this now. I love this red. It's really bright, but it's very matte as well. And I'm going to use this for his cloak and for his eyes, just to put a little bit of highlight, because it's a little bit dull at the moment. I could do a bit of contrast on there. Ironically, as we're talking about contrast paints. Resi, I bought some of the new contrast colours, but I realised I had no immediate uses for them, and they're really expensive. They are quite expensive, yeah. If anyone remembers Monster in My Pocket toys back in the day, the new colours remind me of them. I do, but I don't know why they remind you of them. I suppose they were quite colourful. I'm looking forward to that Black Legion, though, as it should replace Black Templar for me. Yeah, maybe. Now, I really like this red. It's super thick, though. Working it into my brush. I don't tend to thin paints very much. I do it on the wet part. End up being lose a bit of saturation if you're not careful. Okay. Tony loves Bile Red, immediately switches to a better Chimera paint. It's a different type of paint though, Reziel. It's designed to be translucent, and what I need is super opaque. Let me know how this camera angle is, because it's a new angle and I've changed up the way my... Hope that you can see things a little better. I love about this paint, so matte. Feather it in. Yeah, I was thinking so. I bought the Catacomb Command Barge while I was out as well. Can't stop adding to my backlog. Your logical explanations kill the fun. Sorry, Resi. Your main focus is on the cutting mat, not on the mini, if it matters. And the mini is a bit to the left on the screen. So I can get it. Problem is, whenever I move off it again, it will start focusing on whatever's there, which is the map. Right, okay, so what's the next job is to work on some leather. So for that, I'm going to use a colour called Dubai Brown, which is a scale colour, another really super matte one. Hopefully we'll just give it a bit more of a leathery effect on the trousers. Miguel, I dig how laid back the painting videos are. Oh, cheers, Miguel. Tony, I think you'll love Pro Acryl. I've got a couple of Pro Acryls. They have different uses. The Pro Acryl stuff is quite satin finish, and I tend to go very matte with all my paints, so you'll find I tend to favour a lot of like the Italian stuff, so Chimera scale 75. I do like I said, I like the Golden So Flat range. I apologise for typing so much. I'm procrastinating from stuff I'm supposed to be doing. Oh, fair enough. Arguably, I am by doing a painting video, but hopefully I'll be forgiven. What happened there? I think I'm still live. Yeah, I seem to have. Yep. This is supposed to be a speed paint, so I don't want to do too many layers on anything. Just trying to keep it nice and quick. Evening Pustle. Evening Dirty Wizard. I realised last night that my most recent lists are going to take like several weeks of hobby time to complete. Got to pick one army and go with it for a minute. Where's the fun in that? Where's the fun in that? Just stippling on a bit of this brown, trying to get a bit of texture without spending on it. Stippling up in there. Anyone watching GW just advertised today UK Golden Demon? What should Tony paint up and enter into it? I'm not doing that. One day I will do Golden Demon. I did it many years ago. I had a lot more time on my hands. Wasn't just trying to like speed paint everything, which is my life these days. Even my Thunderhawk, it's kind of like I've got a budget of time that I can spend on it. Yeah, the exception I suppose in some ways is this, because I did have a budget and it was one session, but now it's 2 sessions. Tippling. Anyone else doing some hobby stuff? I'm batch building 15 Sanguinary Guard. Yuck, that's a lot of Sanguinary Guard. I think I'd be more on board with the big Sanguinary Guard spam if I liked the models more. I'm not sure if those rumours came out a little while ago are true. I suspect that they weren't, a lot of it. But I tell you what, I really do hope that we get some new Sanguinary Guard models. They're not the oldest, but they have become iconic over the last few years. And They're just not very good. Right, let's go. Tickets go on sale on the 1st. RC Mark's already answered that. Oh my god, how can you like BA and not like the Sanguinary? Because I love Sanguinary Guard, I just don't like the models for Sanguinary Guard. It's like I love Corbolo, but the model is awful. Right, so I'm going to use... No, I don't want to use that one. Where is it? This. So a bit of a brighter brown. Just to do the same thing. Now I'm varying up my finishes here. This is a satin, and the last one was a matte. Hoping that by just mixing and matching, we can get a more interesting finish. I have to use a slightly smaller brush though. What I don't want to do is edge highlight, which I know sounds weird. What I'm actually doing is just sort of doing this like tippy tappy motion. Just give it kind of a scratched on feel. Like I say, this isn't something that I'm painting for anybody. This isn't something I'm painting for a competition or anything. It's being fun, so don't worry too much. What's all going on? Okay, upset people. An older kit, but I still love it. Oh, Resi still likes the Sanguinary Guard. Miguel finished fixing and painting a second-hand Leviathan that had like half its parts broken. Cool model though, isn't it? If the rumours are true, I'll be livid, as Blood Angels will be the only guys to get new melee Redemptor, Furioso Redemptor. Everybody gets melee Leviathan, though, at least. I reckon the rumours about the melee Dreadnought was the Leviathan. Rezi was doing Admech and Tau. Admech are almost complete. I thought the Admech was a commission. I didn't know you collected Tau. I thought you didn't even like Tau. Dirty Wiz is going to get a ticket for Golden Demon. We'll probably go if we can get a ticket, to be honest. About to start Scabran, though. Never done anything as big as him. Oh, Scarbran. Oh, no, he's a wicked model, though, isn't he? I've done some crazy big stuff. The trick is to look at the overall picture rather than concentrating on minutiae. A bit like what I'm going for here. Now, individually, this aren't particularly detailed, but it's about the whole picture when you look at the whole model rather than looking at any individual piece. Just testing out Black Legion on an army that I previously used Black Templar for. Get Black Legion. What originally sold me on contrast was a Black Templar paint. This one's better. Fair enough. Blocking anything black for base coating metallics. Also use it for painting base rims. Cool. Yeah, you finally caught one of these live streams. Welcome, Foz. Want to see how many Gabriel Seth models get entered. Maybe I'll paint Gabriel Seth and enter him. I flood the competition with Seths. Evening, James. Admech's a commission. Tower owned by the same guy, but I worked on those as a favour. Okay. Enough. Right, so now we've got the brown coming through. Pretty pleased with how that's starting to look. Let's start working on these metallics because I'm not happy with them at the moment. I want to brighten them up a bit. I'm going to use some copper paint and I'm just going to brighten it all up. I want to be pretty judicious with this though, because what I don't want look too bright because it's not copper armour. Little bit contrast to this. Remembering where my light's coming from. I don't want to do under these abs too much because you can't see them under his chin. This shoulder pad should. Oh, way, we got some porn. Look at that. Tony, I think you really enjoy black BL paint because it's high pigmentation and very matte. BL paint. Am I being dense? What brand is that? I mean, it does sound exactly what I like. High pigment density, very matte. I don't recognise BL paint. I think I'm probably just being dense. Wouldn't even surprise me if I own some. What I tend to do is just buy a couple of random paints whenever I buy something new. Whenever I order things, I order a couple of paints that I haven't got. Try and just try them out. Up. Right, let's start work on this base. I don't know if you can see. Oh, Black Legion. Yeah, maybe. I don't tend to use the black contrast paint, if I'm honest. I do have some. Got some of the other one, but it rarely gets used, so I don't know how much I'd use it. Right, what I'm going to do here is start doing this base. So for that, I'm going to use some Eclipse Grey, which is another scale colour paint. I'm actually going to thin it down a little bit, like we do with contrast. Because what I want to do is just get it to flow a little bit better. Here, the super dense paint that I like is actually going to work against me. I should use some contrast medium and just thin some down quite heavily. Oh, hello, I've missed a lot here. Tony gets a Seth to paint and enter. I might do too, in a special custom colour scheme. Black. I was joking, but actually now I kind of think it was funny. Problem is, I just haven't got time to do a decent job of it. And entering Golden Demon for a laugh, something that isn't my best work, just feels a bit wrong. Definitely going to buy those bright colours out of the new contrast range. Red, green, yellow, purple, magenta. Yeah, they look cool. And Foz wants you to do a synthwave, Seth. That'd be wicked. What I would like with contrast isn't a really dark grey. There's black, two blacks now, but what I want is a dark grey. Because all the greys are really shocking coverage. Oh, orange. That orange looks sick. Yeah, it does look quite good. Cannot wait for the new demon prints, by the way. Going to pick up 2 of those bad boys. There's a lot of demon prints. I'll try my best. If I can get extra tickets, I'll be more than happy to get you guys one. That'd be wicked. We're going to try, but yeah. Entering Golden Demon is a 2023 aim, surely. Time to think, plan, execute, mean you miss this year's deadlines. Yeah, if I wanted to try and win Golden Demon, it's not something that I would do this year, no. Like I say, I entered it a few years ago, but that was many years ago. When I had loads of free time. Fortunately, not anymore. One second. Armies on Parade, however, I'm planning to do that with my NYNA Necrons. That'd be wicked. Sorry to mention, it's been quite a while that your small camera's been frozen. It's just blocking your model now. Oh shit, not again. I'll have to do something with this little camera. Overheats and then it stops working. See if it wants to come back. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to try on this guy a few of these weathering paints to see if that makes a difference. Now, fluff wise, Detritus's armour is famously shiny, but the way I see it is the bits around his back he'd have trouble getting to. So I'm going to do a couple of little dots of rust on that on his armour, around the back where he wouldn't see it. So we're going to use these dirty down paints while that base is drying. I'm going to put a couple of little rust spots on the back of his chainmail. This, you have to really warm this up, so I'm just warming it up a little bit. Nice reliable little camera. I'm back now. Right, let's put a couple of these rust spots in it. Now this paint is weird, but it gives a really cool effect when it goes on. But I want a really shoddy brush because it knackers your brushes. Got this nasty one here. I'll put a couple of spots. Rust on his armour. I don't think he would see it in the rain. Going to be lucky with the camera, or are we not going to be lucky with the camera? Have to do without it. They could fill out the grey range for sure. Yeah, I would love some grey paint. I'm not sure if you own Apothecary White and Basilicanum Grey and Black Templar. You can create some cool mixes just with like GW. Yeah, there's exactly that. You have to mix your own. And half the time I can't be asked. Right. Thought he was just really still. Unfortunately not. Apothecary White was the second colour that made me like contrast. I do all my whites with it usually, either that or an oil. Are his shoulders meant to be bronze? They look good. I'm still trying to zero in on a lot of metal recipes. Yeah, that's the idea. I want a kind of bronze armour. Got myself the new contrast paints from GW. The new Bile Red is a cool colour. Doesn't pool in the recesses, dries evenly all over. Yeah, exactly that. There we go. That was me playing with it earlier. It's almost like an ink. Very strange. I really want to try and get my camera back. I'm back while I wait for this to dry. It's probably using a GoPro. Really not designed for this. No, I think we're going to be out of luck. Right. Pin it down. Doesn't dropper bottles help with repeating the exact mixes with contrast, and a single mixing ball breaks up the pigment at the bottom. Yeah, it does to an extent. Just find an example. All of my contrast paints, more or less, have got a mixing ball in them, but as you can see, they still do. You still get some pigment thing where you just got to give it a mega shake afterwards. That's all the white pigment, and that's what makes it desaturated. Right, while I'm waiting for that to paint, let's play with these other contrast paints. So I've got here new Imperial Fist, which everyone is super excited about. And I've got this Doomfire Magenta as well. And I've got a fishy. Let's see what it looks like. While I wait for detritus to... So this magenta is very saturated. Again, it doesn't do the contrasty thing. I think that's kind of the trade-off you get. You want the super high super high saturation. You have to give up the contrast effect themes. It looks like I'm doing a rubbish job there, but it's my madness. This is the Imperial Fist. Now, this admittedly isn't a white background, it's a kind of greyish colour. But I didn't prep this for doing this with. Doesn't have to be on my... Really just... Not bad. Yeah, it's quite bright, yeah. That's alright. Yeah, I'll take it. Like the way that's coming out. I think you can do something good with that if you wanted to. Right, let's check the thing. What's we got going on here? You know, it seems to me they've finally got contrast to what they originally advertised. Maybe. It's interesting, isn't it? But it's still not a one-coat shot, fortunately. Probably rock a cell phone cam, Tony. Yeah, I probably could, but I can't get it set up without shutting the stream down. We did buy a first thing with Patreon supported money. Yes, we did. Mark did. That's what I mean, Tony. It helps with shaking it up. Yeah, it does. Yeah, I use it in the airbrush a lot. Blood Angel Red and Flesh Terror's Red are already there. 1-to-1 mix is my favourite red. This ball seemed like it would be okay to dilute for glazes. Yeah, maybe. Imperial Fist looks close to Flash Kits. Yeah, it does a little bit. Goes on really well through the airbrush. Yep. There's a supporter only post on the Patreon page. It's in there. With the new washes, a recess shade, maybe. Makes me want to start a yellow army. Ugh, no thanks. Right, come on. Is this dried yet? No. Taking ages. Right, back to fishy then. Do with him really? No. Pleased with the way that's come out. Contrast just adds more possibilities. See if we can get this camera working. 10th time. Feels a bit weird not having my face on here. Way, we're back. Right. Rust doing. Yes. Rusty spots in there. Like that. Right, the other thing we're going to do is in the same vein, we're going to put a little bit of this verdigris. A lot, just a couple of little dots, because feels that he wouldn't have. think. What I want to do to just make the base seem a little bit more interesting is I'm just going to bosh a load of various shades and stuff over it. So what we got? Biltang green. Is that glaze? No, I've got some glazes, haven't I? Drakenhof nightshade. I want a red, really. Caribou crimson. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to blob this all over the base, just to break it up and make it seem not too uniform. So I've just got a big fat brush and I'm just going to get loads of it on there. Blob it all over it. Because this paint is still ever so slightly wet, it should work with me a little bit, add a little bit more interest. Red, green on. Contrast just adds more possibilities. Yeah, it adds possibilities. It adds speed as well. And like I say, I speed paint everything, so anything that lets me do what I could do previously quicker, the winner for me. Right, while that's drying, let's get the crossbow stuck back on. What do you think of the slap chop method? I don't know what the slap chop method is, I'm sorry. Stephen, I was hoping BAC's next Blood Angels painting competitions or kit bashes. That'll be wicked. What verdigris is this? It's this stuff. So this is the Dirty Down verdigris. It's really good, but very water soluble. So you've got to use it after you varnish. Really, it comes off very easily. You can use it on gaming miniatures. It's fairly tough as long as it doesn't get wet. Any moisture will rub it off, but the effect it gives is very realistic. Also toxic as hell. Yeah, probably. Which is why my licking the paintbrush habit is somewhat dangerous. I'm not going to stop anytime soon though. 25 years I've been licking the paintbrush. I can't see that ending anytime. I hate waiting for things to stick. Slap chop is basically a zenithal dry brush of grey through white over black primer, then try. Okay, yeah. So, yeah, it's a pretty good way of doing it. It's how I tend to do things if I'm in a hurry. I've just never heard it called slap chop. The only problem with doing it like that is if you cock it up, there's very little you can do. That's it, done. You know, I've made a mistake. Can't go back and you can try and cut back in, but it won't look quite the same. Well, that's drying. Loads of videos on YouTube. Yeah, I know there are. I do zenithal everything. I think I've got something that's been zenithal and I haven't started painting yet. Here you go, here's an example. So, because we did our 80s movie thing the other day, there's yeah, so you can see I've zenithal that on there. What I tend to do though is I use that more as a guide for my highlights and shadows rather than relying on transparencies. I think Brightus is going to look pretty good when he's finished. Oh, the new White Scar spray, I like it. Took time for 2 thin coats. I think it was worth it. Had a nice clean finish. I've heard mixed things about that spray. Apparently it can still be a little bit furry. I didn't really dislike Corax White. All of this zenithal stuff you can see, I've either done it with inks or I've done it with a rattle can if I'm in a hurry. I've not had any real problems with that. I don't know what happened to upset my computer earlier, but we've still got a video camera, so I'm not too upset. I kind of feel like now that's drying and that's drying that I want to do something else, so I'll fix this guy. So this is an abandoned 54mm model that I was doing for a competition, but I just ran out of time and then I broke it. I'd like to finish it one of these days. While I've got the glue out, I might... An absolute nightmare. So thin. Chance of successfully pinning it is minimal. What else we got? With the cost of rattle cans, I'm pretty much all airbrush now. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I think if you're not in optimal conditions, the spray could get weird. I had good luck. Nothing as forgiving as Cal's Black. Am I right, lol? Tony, have you painted any busts? Childish giggling. Not many, if I'm honest. I've got one that I've been sitting on for ages waiting to do. And I've done a couple. I did a box art for a guy a while ago. He sent me a bust and he asked if I'd do that as well. But I didn't have time when he sent it to me. Get it finished for the deadline. Now it's just sitting on my pile of shame waiting to be done. I'm not really a display guy. I used to be much more, but these days I'm much more into quickly boshing things out. And like all the commission stuff I've had lately, it's just been gaming models. People want X army done quickly for X tournament, so I'm just trying to like dive in there and get it done. I I do prefer using an airbrush for most things now, but sometimes I like a rattle can. Death Guard rattle cans were amazing, like some varnishes too. I do all my varnishing through the airbrush, but the thing I like about rattle cans is I don't need to clean the airbrush whenever I use one. And I really can't be asked. So now I've got that back on, I want to brighten up the string a touch. So I've got some Vallejo Ivory. This is a really useful paint, this. If you want an off-white, can't go wrong with this one. I found if you use the airbrush regularly enough, it doesn't need more than a rinse through. You are right, it doesn't. Although I tend to give it a proper clean every time I varnish something, especially with the gloss varnish, because it just clogs things up. Right, I'm actually going to try something now, which might be a bad move. And I'm going to try and mute myself for a second, so that I can use the hairdryer, or we're going to be here all day. Right, there we go. Has anyone used the Vallejo Varnishes? I was going to give them a go. What do they compared to GW Satin Spray? I use the Vallejo Gloss as my go-to kind of gloss before oils. It is fine. My favourite satin, however, is, if I can find it, this one. It can be tricky to get hold of. It's Lucky Varnish by Ammo by Mig. This stuff is fantastic. It goes more or less straight through the airbrush and gives you a really nice finish. It's the best satin out of a bottle I've tried. I also use their Ultra Matte. I bought this AK one because I'd heard good things, but this one's goopy as all hell. And I find it doesn't matter how much I thin it, it always seems to clog up my airbrush. So I don't recommend that one at all. Agreed on a good clean after varnish. Ultrasonic cleaner for the win. I haven't got an ultrasonic cleaner. I tend to just strip it down and scrub it. Maybe I should get one. Metallics and varnishes for sure need a good solid cleaning, yeah. I'm just doing a bit of normal acrylics and that's a bit different. The other one that I have to be careful about cleaning out is these. So I love Tamiya flat paints. They're amazing. The finish you can get from them is incredible, like nothing else. But they're an absolute pig sometimes when they react with some cleaners and they turn into like a jelly. And they're an absolute bastard to get out of your airbrush when they do that. Right, now this has dried out a little bit. We're going to go back to our moss paint. And I'm going to paint a load of moss all over those bricks and crap that you're standing on. So you have to give this stuff a mega good shake. Then we're going to have some fun with it. Absolutely stinks as well. And I think I've been a little bit too subtle with the verdigris, so I'm going to put a little bit more verdigris the backs of those shoulder pads. My Sotar would scream. Again, sorry mate, I don't follow you. I think I'm just dense. Right. Sound off again. Sotar is an airbrush. Oh, it's a brand, is it? I'm using a Harder and Steinbeck Silverline. Love it. It's brilliant. Excellent airbrush. I think I just answered that one, James. Sorry, wasn't even paying attention. Yeah, I'm using Harder and Steinbeck Evolution Silverline. It's a few years old now, so you can see it's looking a bit battered, but it works really well. It does everything I want it to do. And then I've got a 0.4 needle in this, because I just like to blast things through, to be honest. That's more like it. So we're starting to get a little bit of verdigris in there. A little bit heavier in that bit there. Feather it out a little bit. So. Bit in there. Not dry. Start doing some pigments in a second. So, a dark brown colour, and then pink. Brush. So use one of these Citadel starter brushes for pigments because they're absolutely worthless for doing anything else with. Only got that Rich Man airbrush. Rich Man airbrush, I don't know about that. A good airbrush, I admit. It's not my first one. I went through a couple of like crappy, cheapy ones that you get off of Amazon for a few quid with a free compressor. To be honest, they were worthless. And I still maintain, and I'm going to make a video on this at some point, that you're better off getting good at dry brushing and saving your money for a reasonable airbrush than buying one of those cheapy things with the inbuilt compressors. I just think you can get a better finish through stippling and dry brushing than you can with a crappy airbrush. I know it's a bit controversial because a lot of people like those handheld things, but I just think you get a better finish. Yeah, I bought one of those kits for about 50 quid and it come with one of those silly little compressors and an airbrush, and I never liked it. Also for 50 quid I bought my set of Artist Opus dry brushes. Now I'm not suggesting for a second that you should buy those dry brushes. They're unnecessarily expensive and they're ridiculously extravagant, but the same price, and I know which one I've gotten a lot more use out of, isn't the 50 quid airbrush. Pissed off with, to be honest. A little bit of this pigment on his feet as well, just to blend into the base. Okay, I'm happy with that. Black the rim. How many points of completely painted blood angels do you have, excluding the pile of shame? Not as many as you'd think. About a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit more than that. Actually, genuinely, when I first started watching the channel, I stripped a big chunk of my blood angels and started repainting them. So I've probably only got about 5,000 points painted at the moment. And it's really weird stuff. It's got, you know, loads of dreadnoughts and a serious lack of troops. The pile of shame is ginormous, as is the pile of stuff that I've painted then stripped. You know, and things like this, which isn't quite finished, adds a lot to the percentage points. Harden and Steenbeck are like badges over here. I think, well, I don't know. It's true we get badges. I wouldn't say it's cheap. It costs, I think I paid about £120. So what's that? $160 or so for my airbrush. Harden Steenbeck's a fantastic piece. I may also have one. I use a Badger Patriot for grunt work and the Harden Steenbeck for fine detail. I've never used a Badger because they're quite hard to get in the UK. I've been thinking about getting my Dante gold plated. Been looking into it. Recently stripped my old model and done a bit of research. Could be quite decent and the cost is quite cheap. I've never looked at doing that. I've looked at buying gold leaf and doing that, but it's a faff. I also have the portable cylinder compressor, but I cut the crap airbrush off the compressor, engineered a proper hose to it so I can airbrush while travelling. Oh, that's quite clever. Does it work all right? I've got all badges, Patriot 105, Extreme Patriot and Sotar. Mostly use the basic 105. Thunderhawk meta. Soon. It's very close to finished. It's a bugger to paint on stream though. And to be honest, I only did the oils today, so it's still drying a little bit. They'll take 24 hours or so to dry that. Right, let's paint this base for him. There's my big old brush. So I'm just using black. Doesn't matter which one, it's black. If you are curious, it's this one, the Chimera Black. But only because it's a nice matte black. I've got nothing against the Vallejo one, it's fine. The only one I don't recommend at all is a Baden Black because it's that is literally the worst black. Every other black you can buy is better than it. I think you'd be better off using craft paint. So, just about that. I've tried the gold leaf myself, not very good at it. I want to have a go, but I know I'll make a hash of it. Jason, it works okay, but it doesn't have great charge, so I normally leave it plugged in. Not sure what people in the neighbouring hotel rooms think. No, that's certainly be weird. Harder and Steinbeck Affinity is running 250 to 320 online here when I search. Might find a deal. Got my Patriot for $100. Yeah, so the so it's slightly more expensive than the Badger. I'd say it's probably $150, the one I've got. Because I haven't got the Infinity. The Infinity is the top model. And I just don't need that. And that runs at about £50–60 more expensive than this one. So, yeah, it probably lines up. But to be honest, like I said, I've tried a couple. I had an Iwata before this one, and I liked it. Iwata? Maybe. It was alright, but it was a cheapie again. It was just a bit of a step up. And I broke it because I wasn't using it properly. And I replaced it with this one, and I love it. And to be honest, I don't see any reason. All the parts are easily replaceable, so when I break something, I can normally just repair it. You know, I've got a couple of spare needles because I've broken a couple and things like that. So I'm actually just about finished, I think. Another coat of the black rim. There's a notice it's not. Don't want to tear it. In case you're wondering, there's only two acceptable colours for base rims. Black or Goblin Green. Okay, I'll take that. So I don't know how well you can see it. Doesn't need to focus. But I'm relatively happy with that. I'll stick some pictures on the Discord. And now I need to decide what I'm going to do next, because I thought I was moving anytime and it keeps being delayed. It means that I've actually not really got a pile of shame here. The only things I've got are like really random bits of stuff. I've got the Telemon that needs finishing, so I'll probably do that over the next couple of days. And then it's all sorts of bizarre little bits. So I don't know what to paint next. Do I want to paint something stupid or do I want to paint something practical? I might paint a tank. You can get Harder in Steenbeck Evolution Solo for 147. That's not much more than a Badger. Yeah, so I think the Solo's mine's the model up from that, but yeah, that seems about right. I've got an Iwata Ninja tankless compressor and an Iwata Highland and a Cult Paint Infinity. Cool, you lucky bugger. I would have liked a Cult Paint Infinity, but I'm not that rich. Because you know I'm a Cult Paint sucker. Even my dry brushes are Cult Paint ones. I don't know if it's any better, but it's cool. Badger did a crazy sale a few years back though, and I got my Extreme for $55. Took 6 months to arrive, but I didn't need it that fast anyway. Nice. I'm not painting. Do you know I don't even own a repulsor? I was thinking about this earlier, and I think I own more or less one of every Blood Angels unit. I might not have more than one, and I might not have it painted, but I think I own one of every single one, apart from the repulsor. And a couple of the crazy Forge World ones. And I have no intention of buying one. Hate that tank. It's stupid. Stupid vehicle. Let's go back to painting the fish. What is it? Is that some sort of like Wood? Yes. Right, we can do wood. I'm going to fully contrast paint this fish. Wood colour. Snakebite leather it is. Paint a repulsor. I'll get over that. Never. Never paint a repulsor. Don't even own a repulsor. Of course, knowing my gaming group, someone will be watching this. So I bought a... I'll have it commission painted, please. You know, I'd rather paint Gabriel's Seth. I've had 2 other compressors and the Ninja has by far been the best to go to. At a constant 20 psi, which is more than enough for what I use. Really? I do about 25. I've got one of those cheapy China tanks. The one with the tank on the top. Because the thing that puts me off the Ninja is it doesn't have a tank. Admittedly, it's not that big a deal. Mine's always going on anyway, but in theory it'd be nice to have a tank. Is your Dread drop pod finished? Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's finished. Never say never, no. You should do get a cool bust or something. I will do. I'd like to say I've got that one that I was supposed to commission paint, and I might finish this off because I got fair way through it. I need to do the back more. I was quite happy with the green. It needs a little bit of a tweak. Not so happy about the shading on that. So I might finish this guy off. Girl off, I suppose. I try and mix it up, you see. Gabrielle can be the gunner on your repulsor. Yeah, why not? Right, so we've got some brown on there. Let's polish or paint that vase. I want a kind of nasty pinky colour, so I use this nasty Magos purple. This is a shit contrast paint. Got it. You must have an armoured container that needs finishing. I don't. You know why? Because I gave them away. I gave away all of my armoured containers because I got a load with that Imperium magazine. And I just don't want them. So I gave them all to a friend who once gave me a Dreadnought. You do see him in here sometimes. It's sometimes he joins us for the stream. But he gave me a Dreadnought once, and since then I give him whenever I get any like terrain or anything. I hate this colour. You're very negative. I don't know why I'm being negative. Quite a good mood. Well, plenty of things that need to be painted, to be honest. I'll probably like to say I'll finish off that custodian. I've got a Gravitac that I need to get finished for my new list at some point. That might need doing. Somebody remind me of which website has all the best mini busts. I don't know about which website, but there's a few companies that make nice ones. One that I do quite like is called Abyssal, and they make some beautiful display models and busts. Okay, 75mm stuff. If you are interested in going down that route, I've got a couple of their models already, and they're really, really high quality. Big Trial Creatives makes some really nice ones. You can still get the Squidmar ones, but to be honest, if you want to play with some, there's loads of 3D printed ones out there that can look quite nice. What do I do with that? I've lost my snakebite leather. What did I do with it? Spanner. I had it in my hands a minute ago. Oh, there it is. I'm going to bail. Nice chatting, guys. Cheers, James. Thanks for tuning in. What should I do with the sand? I want it to be really pale. I wonder what Apothecary White will look like on the sand. Find out. Yeah, Abyssal. They're the ones, Reziel. They make some incredible stuff, but bloody pigment sitting on the bottom of that. They make some incredible stuff. It's expensive, but you get what you pay for. Could use the vibrate-y thing, I suppose. How are we doing for time? Getting there. I'm going to finish this model. That's my goal. I'm going to paint a model in a night. And we're going to end the stream there. Right, let's see what Apothecary White looks like over this sand. That's all right. We can add a bit of skeleton horde. Shit, Tony. I was thinking of Scale 75, to be honest. Yeah, the scale models are good. They do some interesting ones. I've bought a couple of the Scale 75 models. I bought the... never bought any of their busts. I have bought a couple of their large scale figurines though. A lot of their busts and that do lean into a little bit of boobs, for want of a better term. And that's just not my thing. Right, I said I was going to do 100% contrast, so I need to do 100% contrast. Means I've even got to do the rim. I haven't got your fancy new paint, so I'm going to have to do it with the old Black Templar. Gonna bounce, gang. Cool chatting with you all. Cheers, Stephen. Oh, the old paint pot. 8 pots. At this. $15 coat. Not really seeing a lot of busts in their busts. Oh, fair enough. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody different. Really pleased with that, actually, how that's turning out. Boy. 30 years of painting models on us. Probably that Kingdom Death stuff. I like a lot of those though. I like Gribbly Monsters. I'm not a big fan of boobs. Not from like a painting point of view. In real life, they're fine. I've got a nice set myself. It's the, but like really, yeah, just not my thing. Pin-up stuff is just not my thing. Or in Gribbly Monsters. Right, tell you what, let's use this verdigris paint again. Not verdigris, moss paint, and see if we can put some seaweed on that thing while we're playing. So it's almost 100% contrast. It's 100% contrast with some effects. And then while we're at it as well, nice pale sand one, grey ash. Sandy one, a nice look sprinkling of sand. Crappy starter brush back out. I'll leave myself now and everyone enjoy the rest of the stream. Well, we're going to finish now anyway, I think, just about Resil. Just messing about. Go. So, that's not bad going. We finished detritus. And we finished this fishy thing. So, on that note, I think it's about time we need to end. So, I hope everybody's enjoyed watching. If you can, leave a comment, leave a like. It really does help us out. We're desperately trying to break that 1,000. Crackheads have managed to beat us to it. But we're closing in on them. So, tell your friends. And hopefully, I'll see you next Tuesday. We don't have an episode coming out this week because we're filming on Thursday. We have got a lot of little episodes and a few short videos coming out soon, so you should look forward to those. They were quite fun to make. So unless anybody's got any last few questions or anything in the chat, which I don't think we do, we're going to call it there. So cheers everybody. Thanks for watching.